Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Jay-Z's dark secret past. But before we begin, I just wanted to let you guys know about my Patreon. If you guys support my channel and want to further show your support, you can by joining me on Patreon. When you become a Patreon member, you get access to exclusive videos that are not allowed here on YouTube. I know times are hard, and I completely understand those that can't afford it right now. But for those that can spare $3 a month and want to further support the truth movement, consider joining the Patreon. You will get access to several videos and will be supporting the channel at the same time. If you would like to join the Patreon, you can find the link in the description of this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my second channel, Truth Network, as I just dropped a new video over there and you're not going to want to miss it. You can find the channel tagged in the description of this video. Thank you all. Now let's get right into it. Those who run the music industry are known to take advantage of upcoming artists who are trying to make it. Artists who are willing to do anything to make it to the top. One thing I have noticed is that the artists that get taken advantage of the most are often young female artists. Many young female artists enter the industry eager to make it to the top, and they're willing to do anything to get there. The industry gatekeepers take advantage of this and use a promise of an opportunity to have their way with these young women. These young girls in the industry end up having to go from executive to executive, sleeping their way to the very top. This is the unspoken rule in the music business, and sadly, women have to deal with it to this very day. So many of the biggest female artists that are at the top today had to go through this themselves. There are many gatekeepers in the music industry that are rumored monsters who prey on any young female that gets in the game. The younger the better for these type of guys. These men are rumored to require a different type of payment to be able to grant an artist a deal or a favor. One of those men is allegedly P. Diddy, one of the hip-hop gatekeepers. Diddy is rumored to take advantage of women and even men artists trying to make it in the industry. We might not have 100% proof that Diddy is doing this, but when so many people in the industry are saying it, it's hard to deny. Even his former bodyguard and other employers close to him have come out and accused Diddy of doing this. It starts to become clear that Diddy is definitely one of those monsters in the industry. A good example of this is his current relationship with Yung Miami, who's 29 years old. Diddy is 53 years old, meaning he's 24 years older than Yung Miami. When she was born, Diddy was already a 24-year-old man. But just imagine the opportunities Diddy has gotten for Yung Miami since the relationship started. As sick as it is, this is how the music industry works. Another hip-hop gatekeeper that is rumored to behave like this is no other than Jay-Z. Jay-Z, who is praised by the entire music industry and looked at as a god in hip-hop, has a dark past that most people don't know about. In today's world, Jay-Z is looked at as one of the most successful men in hip-hop. The fact that he is married to Beyonce, who is considered one of the biggest female artists in the world, only makes him even bigger. But what this really means is that a man like Jay-Z has immense power, and just like P. Diddy, this allows him to have his way with whoever he desires in the industry. While most people see Jay as just a great rapper and a businessman who made it to the top, they fail to realize that he has a dark past he works hard to keep hidden. Just like P. Diddy, Jay-Z seems to be into women who are a lot younger than him. For instance, when we look at his relationship with his wife of many years, Beyonce, you see exactly my point. Jay-Z and Beyonce are seen as a hip-hop royal couple, the king and queen of hip-hop, a relationship that's so favored and praised by the industry. People pray they can be in a power couple like Jay and Beyonce, but fail to realize how disturbing this relationship truly is. Beyonce met Jay-Z all the way back in the late 90s, when she was between the ages of 17 through 19. She claims she met Jay back in 1999, and just 1 year later, they would start their public relationship. Jay would go on to eventually marry Beyonce, and they ended up becoming hip-hop's most loved couple. The big issue with this is that people seem to forget at just what age Jay-Z met and started dating Beyonce. Beyonce claims she met Jay back in 1999 when Jay-Z was already a 30-year-old man. Even if Beyonce was 18, Jay was already 12 years older than her. But think about it, Beyonce was barely 18, which to me shows Jay was definitely attracted to women that are as young as 18 and maybe even younger. Honestly, the possibility of Jay meeting Beyonce and hooking up with Beyonce before she was 18 is also highly possible. Beyonce is smart enough not to reveal that she had been with Jay since before she was of age. The fact that she was 18 at the time is revealing on its own, and it can also prove they have been hanging out since before then. Jay and Beyonce got together, and her career took off to new heights. It's not a coincidence at all. Jay was already the big rap star with infinite connections by the time he met the 18-year-old Beyonce. I firmly believe that grown men, especially 30-year-old men, who go after girls that just turned 18 years old, are into women that are below that age. If they were attracted to her at 18, they were attracted to her at 16 and 17 as well. I have seen so many people online who wait till famous young girls turn 18 to then beg them to start an OnlyFans like Bad Baby did. People don't realize how toxic this is for our society. The fact that Jay, at the grown age of 30 years old, went after an 18-year-old Beyonce lets you know what kind of girls he is really into. While some people are just going to look at this and say it's not that bad because she was already 18, which is legal, and they're still married to this day, so they obviously loved each other. The problem is, Jay, who was a big star at the time on top of hip-hop, might have taken advantage of a young Beyonce who was up and coming and willing to do anything to make it. I myself wouldn't at all be surprised if Beyonce, who was only 18, got with a 30-year-old Jay-Z because of the opportunities it would provide for her. I believe Jay took complete advantage of that, and Beyonce wasn't even his only victim. Foxy Brown was a successful female rap artist from the late 90s and early 2000s. She had signed a major record deal with Def Jam all the way back in 1996 when she was only 16 years old, the same label Jay-Z was the biggest artist on. Jay actually played a large role in Foxy being signed to Def Jam, as he had worked with her early on. Back then, Jay-Z was seen very close to the young Foxy, and the rumor was that Jay-Z was actually being intimate with Foxy back in 1994 when they first started making music together. Jay-Z recorded Ain't No with Foxy Brown back in 1994, even though the song wasn't released until 1996. In 1994, Foxy was no older than 15 years old. People believe at this point in time, Jay-Z, who was 25 years old at the time, was allegedly already hooking up with Foxy at that age. More confirmation of this was this article posted by TMZ, where they claim Foxy Brown stated Jay-Z hooked up with her when she was 14 and he was 24. She claims that he was her first time, and according to this TMZ article, she even claimed Jay-Z was into transitioned women. If you were to ask me, I think this is the truth. We already know Jay-Z is into younger girls, as he got with an 18-year-old Beyonce, so I wouldn't put it past him. I believe that Foxy, just like Beyonce, was taken advantage of by a superior in the music industry, Jay-Z. Jay would eventually sign Foxy Brown back to Def Jam after he took over in the mid-2000s. Over the years, many people have actually said Jay-Z was in a relationship with Foxy Brown back then, one being Nick Cannon, who during an interview with Dame Dash pressed him on the situation. Nick Cannon straight up brings up the fact that when he met Foxy Brown, she was 16 and was introduced to him as Jay's girl. This question made Dame Dash visibly uncomfortable.
At what age was Foxy Brown signed?
I wasn't paying attention to Foxy Brown.
But that's
I didn't sign Foxy Brown.
I'm
Stop putting me in
just
that.
asking a
You keep
question.
asking 'cause I'm on the block. I'm responsible for everything.
You the boss.
Yo, don't beat around the bush. Say what you want
I'm
to
just
say.
asking.
What do you mean by that question?
I'm just asking.
What are you insinuating?
I'm not
asking
insinuating.
about
I just
Foxy
asked a
Brown. I
question.
promise you,
I thought Foxy was like 16. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like you.
All I'm saying
sounds
is in this
you got
industry,
something-
we live
it
in
seems
these
like
glass
you got.
houses.
It seems like you got a question for Jay. Ask him. Y'all keep asking me questions. Want to ask him because he ain't here. Ask him. I ain't got to do with that, and I don't even know nothing about that. Ooh, you playing?
You my man.
I know not with me. You playing. When you say that Foxy was 16 when she got signed, why did you say that just now?
When I first was introduced to who Foxy was, I thought there was something between Foxy and Jay.
We got Jay.
As you heard for yourself, Nick Cannon brings up Jay and Foxy Brown, and he starts panicking. Dame instantly starts getting defensive, which reveals he knows something wrong happened between the two. Nick Cannon then tells Dame that he was introduced to Foxy when she was 16 as Jay's girl. Dame tells Nick to ask Jay about that and not him. This obviously reveals Dame knows Jay was with Foxy since young. He knows Jay's dark secret. Foxy allegedly hooked up with Jay young, and then she gets signed to the same label as him. You tell me if that's a coincidence. Speaking about Dame Dash, he was actually in a relationship with the young Aaliyah before she passed. Aaliyah was 21 and Dash 29 when they started dating, which was not as bad as Jay-Z with Beyonce. However, Jay-Z actually briefly dated Aaliyah when she was 19 or 20. Dame even claims that Jay-Z was jealous of the fact that he was dating her as they had been together first. It's obvious Jay-Z has a thing for women who are barely 18 or older. What's interesting about all of this is that we know Jay-Z actually made a whole joint album and went on tour with R. Kelly, another star who was known for his interest in young girls. Back then, the two had worked on 2 projects together and went on tour before they broke up. Nas, a former rival of Jay-Z, actually came out some time ago and stated that he knew of Jay-Z participating in the same activities as R. Kelly, claiming that he was messing with those 16-year-olds at the studio with Kelly. What's interesting is that Aaliyah, who was first with Kelly, ended up with Jay-Z. We are obviously seeing a pattern here. Jay, who was a veteran in the industry, was going after these young upcoming stars before they were even of age. The fact that Jay had this friendship with Kelly while he was actively around these young girls speaks for itself to me. Anyone who is willing to condone this around them and not stop it are just as guilty as the one doing it. I am seeing a pattern when it comes to Jay-Z, especially when we talk about his long-forgotten son he had with a 16-year-old girl when he was 22 years old. According to this New York Post article, a man by the name of Rimmer Satterwhite claims to be the abandoned and forgotten son of rapper Jay-Z. According to Rimmer, his mother Wanda hooked up with Jay-Z when she was only 16 years old and Jay was 22. He claims that he is the product of that brief relationship. The woman claims she met Jay-Z through a friend back in the day and that she was introduced to him as Rock. Whether this is true or not, I don't know as of now, but knowing Jay has an interest in younger women, I wouldn't put this past him. Another alleged victim of Jay-Z is no other than Rihanna. The way that Rihanna got discovered and signed to me always left me with many questions. Rihanna was a teenager in Barbados with no connections when she somehow managed to get in a hotel room with Evan Rogers, a music producer who just so happened to be vacationing in Barbados. Rogers would invite Rihanna and her friend to perform a song for him in a hotel room alone, where he decided that he was only interested in the teenage Rihanna and would meet with her mother the very next day. Rihanna would end up signing a production deal with Rogers' production company, Syndicated Rhythm, and then they put out a demo. 2 A&Rs working at Def Jam heard the demo and quickly showed it to no other than Jay-Z himself. Rihanna was then flown to New York City, where she would meet with Jay-Z and the rest of Def Jam Records team. L.A. Reid, the head of the label, told Jay-Z not to let Rihanna leave the building without making her sign the dotted line. Rihanna would sign her first major record deal at exactly 3 a.m., and it just so happened to be a 6-album deal. The first obvious thing that stuck out to me was the occult reference to Rihanna being signed at exactly 3 a.m. for a 6-album deal. But what stuck out to me even more was the fact that she was only 16 years old in 2005 when she signed. What makes this even more disturbing is that it was again rumored that Jay-Z had hooked up with Rihanna in 2005, around the time he signed her when she was 16 or 17. Jay-Z was already 36 at the time, and apparently this led Beyonce to hate Rihanna, and this is the reason Beyonce and Rihanna don't have a song together to this day. It's even believed that the song Bow Down by Beyonce was created as a diss to Rihanna. I honestly believe this happened, as it was actually basically known in the industry. Just think about it. Rihanna, who was on Jay-Z's label, never did a song with his wife, 2 of the biggest pop stars in the world. You know exactly why. Because Jay-Z took advantage of his gatekeeper privilege. He knows new girls coming in the industry would do anything to make it to the top. Rihanna allegedly hooks up with Jay-Z, and she is now a billionaire. Looking at all these relationships, we see a pattern. Jay-Z was much older than all these women, and I believe he used his position of power to get what he wanted from them. So many people praise him without realizing he is truly a monster in hip-hop who takes advantage of the vulnerable. Well, that's it for this video. But before you guys go, I just wanted to let you guys know that tomorrow, Sunday 15, I will be hosting a live event over on my Discord server at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you want to come listen in, you can join my Discord by using the link in the description of this video or by clicking the link in the live chat. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.